Right, hello, and welcome back to the Morning Chat. So, I'm a big fan of Marvel, as a lot of you know, and, well, one of the most hated Marvel films of all time is Iron Man 3. I love Iron Man 3, okay, and that is because it subverts your expectations, first of all. It does something interesting with the, original comic book, counterpart. And it changes things up. I'm really sick and tired of the argument of that. Oh, it's not similar to the comics. Oh, it's not the same as the comics. Boo hoo. If it's not the same as the comics, okay, then that's fine. Shall I tell you why it is fine? Because you can read the comics. The comics still exist. Just because a director decided that he wanted to sort of alter a story to make it for his film doesn't mean that the film's bad because you read the comics and the comics are different. The Mandarin twist, to me, is really interesting because not only does it throw you off guard, but it also changes the character and it makes the Ben Kingsley version, it makes it more comedic, and then you've got I forgot the other guy. But he's really a more interesting character. Iron Man 3 is good, okay? Iron Man 3 is a good film. Okay, it is a really decent film. It's got Iron Man, Tony Stark dealing with anxiety and the depression that he got from being up in space from Avengers. There are repercussions from the previous film. The characters are interesting. We get to see more of Tony and Pepper's relationship. Happy Hogan's in it. It's a pretty decent film. The villain is really interesting, but no, just because they slightly change something means that it's a bad film. That is not how you criticize something, okay? Just because something has changed doesn't mean it's bad. I watched this review of this guy, this DC fanboy, might I add, right? Basically, slaughtering Captain Marvel. Now, you guys know that I don't think Captain Marvel was the best. I gave it a solid 3 out of 5. But what it isn't that bad. It's not terrible. This man was going on it was the worst film he's ever seen. Oh, the Skrulls, they had one job, they changed the Skrulls. Yes, they changed the Skrulls, okay? Because I'll tell you why. Because I say it once, I'll say it again. The comics exist. The comics still exist. They exist. You are allowed to change source material if you want to create a brand new story from that. And that's what Captain Marvel did. Now, I was a bit annoyed that the Skrulls weren't evil. But that being said, I feel it's interesting because making the Skrulls not what they are within the comics is really cool. It changes things. It makes it more dynamic, okay? It gives a good change and it makes things interesting. It just really annoys me. And when people The Last Jedi, right? When people are saying that Rian Johnson ruined their childhood, no, he didn't. Those other films still exist, okay? The other films still exist. Just because a new version of something, so Toy Story 4 might be terrible, doesn't mean that Toy Story 1, 2 and 3 aren't good. Eminem's new albums are horrendous, doesn't mean his first one isn't good. Tyler the Creator could drop absolute bin bags, okay, of an album, right, in 2020, because apparently that's when he's dropping. Doesn't mean that Flower Boy and everything that came before it isn't good. Stop being oh, they're ruining my franchise or ruining my childhood. No one is ruining anything, okay? It still exists. Just because people are trying to implement new ideas into different source materials doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad. Now, there are bad things, My Mum Tracy Beaker. Jacqueline Wilson's ruined the character. Not ruined the character. She's ruined the ending that I originally perceived. But with that, okay, yeah, whatever, yeah, cool, okay, cool. Just changing things, changing characters, and changing storylines isn't necessarily a bad thing, is it? It's just not. It's just not. And people need to stop. They need to stop crying. Okay, Iron Man 3 is good. Okay. Also, Man of Steel, as much as I don't think it's the best, I don't think it's that bad. And that's because when I watched it on Christmas Day with my family, and sure, it's a bit overly dark, and Superman is kind of made out to be the next Jesus. But that being said, I kind of like when he kills Zod, and I know it's stupid because people are Superman wouldn't kill, but it him killing Zod kind of shows the severity of of like keeping Zod alive. So when he snaps Zod next, and of course, like there's the unnecessary like buildings being, and there's no consequences, whatever. But Henry Cavill was a pretty good Superman in my opinion, and that film, like, it's not even that bad. Like, it's not even that bad. Like, I'd give it like a 3 out of 5. Like, it's not terrible, but I'd give it a 3 out of 5, or maybe a 2 or a 3. Cool. So tomorrow, I want to talk about being a YouTuber, like not my channel, but like just in general, like advice and stuff. So I'm gonna do. It's not gonna be a Q&A, okay? But I need like some things to talk off. So comment some like some things. So like questions relating to being a YouTuber, or like advice I could give as a YouTuber, and I will answer those in tomorrow's episode. It's not a Q&A, okay? It's not a Q&A. It's just like a TED talk. But anyways, I'm gonna go because it's 9 o'clock. No joking, it's 8:15. So I'm gonna go do some washing up, like a true American hero, before I go to college. And yeah, as always, have a great day, have a good day, and make sure that you watch. In fact, don't make sure, you need to watch Kung Fu Panda 3.